IPL 2023 is truly underway with a lot of matches recording some record viewership. But for the very first time, we have two broadcasters, which means there are two broadcasters going up against each other. The contest is no more limited to the teams on the field. Off the field, these two broadcasters at the moment, one on television, the other streaming it digitally, are vying for more eyeballs, also vying for the attention of the advertiser. But this particular video, we're going to look at numbers that actually impact you, the viewer. What is it that you would be paying if you're going to be broadcasting the IPL, watching it on television, or whether you're going to be streaming it digitally? Those are the numbers that we've researched and broken it down for you. And what I can say is that they are interesting to say the least. Okay, let's deep dive and take a closer look at this digital versus TV battle. Now, first, let's take a look at what is the cost of watching if you're watching the game in SD streaming. SD streaming, remember, is a 480p resolution. That is what majority of the consumers consume. So if you're watching it in SD, the data you will consume is 0.5, that is half a GB per hour, and a game is 3.5 hours, so 2 GB at best you will consume. Now, what is the cost per GB? Now, cost per GB according to TRAI is roughly around 10 per GB. So if you're consuming 2 GB of data, then what you're paying for streaming one match of the IPL in SD, that's 480p, is roughly around 20 rupees. Now remember, we're looking at absolute numbers, pure numbers. We are not looking at those bundles and various other offers that telecom operators give you. We're looking at true numbers, and we're going to make it even Stevens. In television also, we'll take a look at just absolute and true numbers and not looking at various deals or bundles. So SD, rupees 20, it's what going to cost you if you're going to watch one entire match of the IPL. Now, if you want to watch it in HD streaming, that is 720p and above, it can go to 1080 and even 4K. Numbers for that are substantially bigger, but we're limiting ourselves to HD because that's what mostly people consume, either SD or HD 720p, which is good enough to watch a match very, very clearly. So at HD streaming, data is 1 GB per hour into 3.5 hours of a game. That's 3.5 GB. Simple math, as we had mentioned, according to TRAI data, 10 per GB. So that puts it at rupees 35. That's an absolute cost that you'd have to pay if you're going to watch that entire match on data, 3.5 hours of IPL cricket. Now, let's compare it to what the television numbers are at the moment. Now, television, there's no difference, SD or HD. Subscription is roughly the same, so we've combined it together, and let's take a look at the cost per match. Remember, as we had mentioned, 20 rupees, 35 rupees earlier for SD and HD. Now, there's a charge. Don't just look at subscription of the channel. There is a charge which is called the network capacity fee that you have to pay to the provider. So, you know, if you've got an Airtel connection or a Tata Sky connection or various other connections that are on offer when you get your direct to home DTH connection. So NCF is a payment that you have to make, which is standard, which is about 154 rupees per month you have to pay. Now, what's interesting about this is, and this is a disclaimer, that is, it's going to be common. So if you've got television and you are watching, let's say, entertainment channels, movie channels, what have you, this remains the same. So this is a one-time fee that you have to pay. So some can argue that, listen, I'm paying this one-time fee for watching television anyway because I watch a lot of news on television or movies, or for that matter, you know, various other channels. So because remember, for digital as well, we had looked at no bundles, we had looked at the absolute and the true cost. Similarly, we're going to do this. If you are not watching anything else on TV and you're just on TV to watch the IPL, just as we looked at digitally, so we've added this cost in this calculation of television. So NFC cost at 154 per month. Subscription now of that sports channel that you're going to be watching, whether it's SD or HD, is about 38 per month. So per month you're paying 192. Now we've divided that by roughly, say, about 30 odd matches in a month. So you're paying 192 for 30 odd matches, which actually comes down to 6 rupees per game in absolute numbers. I know if you anyway have a TV connection, then this evens out. It gets divided by movie channels or let's say news channels, whatever other genre you're watching, then this number actually becomes even less. But a reminder once again, we're looking at complete and absolute numbers. So 6 rupees. Let's do the comparison now. Cost of watching an IPL match, digital versus TV. So cost per match in Indian rupees, digital in SD will cost you 20 rupees per match, TV will cost you 6 rupees per match. For HD, 35 rupees per match, and TV will cost you 6 rupees per match. Now, if you take a look at these numbers, there's a clear winner here, but there will be a couple of interesting points to ponder over as well. Now, remember, India's 50% purchasing power lies with the top 30 homes. Now, remember, these top 30 homes also have about 100 million mobile devices. The owners of these 100 million mobile devices, most of them are on unlimited data plans. So they pay a fixed monthly subscription cost to their data provider and get unlimited data. So that's going to continue, whether it's for their work or they've cut their cord, whether it's watching TV digitally, various other channels. So they're going to be paying that anyway. So for them to watch the IPL digitally comes at no extra cost. So that's very interesting. They will now, despite the fact I showed you 20 rupees for SD and 35 for HD, it doesn't matter to them. They can in fact even watch it on 4K at home because they're paying nothing extra. That monthly subscription that they pay could be 900, 1000, whatever you have. You're going to also get to see the IPL at no extra cost. So these are important numbers. Now, while they are 50% of the purchasing power, they are about 1/7 of the total number of mobile users. So in that sense, this seems like a small number, but don't forget that also explains why advertising is already at 50% when it comes to TV and digital, even though TV numbers will be much higher because more people who have mobile devices will refrain from watching it on mobile because of those high costs. But the purchasing power, the folks in that top 50% purchasing power, they will all be watching it digitally because it costs them nothing more. So that's why advertisers are split 50-50 between digital and television, even though television in terms of pure numbers may be much more than digital at the moment. The other thing to ponder over is the majority of the remaining 600 mobile users, 100 other top brass that we looked at, they are anyway going to be watching it digitally, unlimited plans, as I had explained. Now, the remaining 600 million mobile users are also on 2 GB plan per day. This is the most popular plan that you have. In this, you get 2 GB of data every day as part of their plan. So they can actually watch a full IPL match in SD quality at no extra cost in the existing plan that they have. However, if they were to watch it in SD, that will consume about 1.5 GB more. They could then pay for that, but that will be just an incremental increase and not really put their budgets completely haywire. So this is something that you need to look at. The other thing to actually look at is also the fact nobody watches a full 3.5 hour of an IPL match. More often than not, looking at a lot of data that I was looking at, 50 minutes seems to be the average watching time. So if you reduce the watching time, it doesn't impact television, because in television doesn't matter, you're watching 50 minutes, 3.5 hours, you're going to pay that 6 rupees. But if you reduce the watching time substantially to 50 minutes and not 3.5 hours, as I had mentioned, in terms of watching the full match, those numbers also come down. So overall, if you take a look at this entire battle, television does come out as the clear winner, but it's not just black and white. Lots of gray areas, many layers to it, and in the end, it actually depends on how you are consuming IPL, how you are watching the IPL. Do tell us on the basis of this video, how is it that you're consuming the IPL? We'd love to know from you as well. For the moment, if you like this video, do give us a like and don't forget to subscribe to Sports Today for more such in-depth content.